Hi everybody, Chef Norman Van Aken here with a book from the Treasure Book series. This book is a beauty, and so is the person who wrote it, the chef behind it. Suzanne Goin is her name. If you're not familiar, you will need to be. If you're in Los Angeles or you're a foodie, whatever that phrase means anymore, who knows, but you're gonna know who she is because she's been a star forever. This book came out in 2005. We at Norman's, we were invited to open up on Sunset Strip in Los Angeles. Quite an exciting thing, a big change in life for us to have our restaurants be both in Miami and in Los Angeles, especially on something as storied as Sunset Strip. I grew up in the Midwest, and when I think about the television shows, I can think of 77 Sunset Strip being one of them. Real life and television don't necessarily match, as we've all come to find out, but one thing that never let me down was a meal prepared by Suzanne, nor has her book. When you can have a book forward written by Alice Waters, I think you're doing pretty well. Let me show you just the soft, beautiful colors of the cover of this book, and take a screenshot if you like. Like I said, the book came out in 2005, 20 years ago. So odds are you could find this book at a used bookstore, or online used books like thrift books, and get a great deal for it. Full color throughout, oversized, heavy stock book. It's gonna take a beating. You can take it in the kitchen with you. But back to Alice, who is, of course, one of my heroes, one of my mentor heroes. In fact, I dedicated my first cookbook in 1988 to Alice Waters and James Beard. Strong start this forward. In 33 years, and of course this is 2005, she's writing this, a great many cooks have come through the kitchen at Chez Panisse, but even among those who moved on to start successful restaurants of their own, among them, Suzanne Goin is a standout. When Suzanne started working at Chez Panisse, we all knew right away that one day she would have a restaurant of her own and that other cooks would be coming to her for kitchen wisdom. My wife Janet and I went to her restaurant as often as we could, which of course is hard when you're in the restaurant business. The great irony is that your nose is often pressed up against the window, the glass window, because you got to go back to your own restaurant to perform the thing that people are expecting you to do. But we weren't open on Sundays, and I think that's probably how that happened for us to go and dine at Luke. She has, in her introduction, she says, food was an absurdly large part of my childhood. My parents planned vacations around their dining options. Oh, I love that. They scoured cookbooks for dinner party recipes. They even developed a complex and rigid preferential voting system to determine which restaurant we would eat at on Friday nights. But my favorite of these culinary obsessions played itself out at home on Sunday mornings when my dad stood up from the breakfast table and put on his apron. That's when I knew we were in for some fun. This book is going to be one that you are not going to be lost on because it's very straightforward, the kind of experience you want to have on a Sunday supper. Of course, living in California and the great produce that's there, it's a wonderland. And when we had the restaurant, we went to the farmer's market every Saturday and would just come back with more food than we probably could have cooked in a month, but we were excited. Sunday suppers. I want you to take a look at this book. If not, go and get it. At least look at it online. Here's Suzanne. I think she was a ballet dancer as a child. She is an elegant person. And she's inquisitive, and she's funny, and she's delightful. I was in a magazine article, I think it was Food and Wine magazine. They did a series article on the innovators, and somehow we both ended up being in that category. I'll take it. As usual. What is that lovely looking thing? Oh, that looks just yummy. Meringues with vanilla ice cream, chocolate sauce, and toasted almonds. You know that's going to be pretty simple to make. You could probably, wing it, buy a some really good ice cream and some really good chocolate sauce, and then make the meringues or something like that. But getting back to, I always seem to have something in the books that I put there because I want to surprise myself. And I think I'm going to surprise myself right now. Of course I put this in there. For a number of years, 5 or 6 years going back, I was the chef consultant for a beautiful restaurant in Mount Dora named 1921 by Norman Van Aken. It was a restaurant where I wanted to give a chance to express myself, not so much in a straight ahead Latin Caribbean way, the way I of course do in Miami and I did in Key West, but because we're up there, I was able to sort of tap into some more Southern style. Not that Suzanne is known for Southern, but Sunday suppers happen all over the world, and probably inspired by this book, I began to do a series. Come on in, camera lady. Take a tight shot. With my extraordinary chef de cuisine, Camilo Velasco, and our general manager back then, Scott Geisler. We had a Cracker Jack team, and the people of Mount Dora and the surrounding communities, some coming all the way from Orlando, would come up there for Sunday suppers and let us feed them in a more familial way. And that's one of the reasons you get a book like this. You get a book like this not to necessarily, do like that one show with Julia and Julia, where she cooked every dish out of Julia Child's Mastering the Art. But you go through this thing with something like this, and you tag the things that look exciting to you. And if you just did 2 or 3 a year, that would exponentially up your repertoire. And you won't go wrong. You can't go wrong with Suzanne. She is so good, and she makes it look easy, and she'll make you feel like she's the coach and you are the person that wants to be on her team. All right, everybody, have a great night, great day, whatever it is to you. And I look forward to showcasing another treasure book before long. All right, take care. Bye-bye.